Good evening. What a joy to have you together with us for the Gorgeous Woman Show. And I'm Reverend Ruth Wamwe. It's always a joy to be on CTN TV and, of course, on all our social media platforms. I highly recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channels, my channel, and the CTN page channel, so that you're able to get stories of gorgeous women that have been through pain and situations that are not very convenient, but they overcame by the power and the presence of God. Some of them are still going through them. When they come, they still have not healed, and we have to give the necessary support after we do the show so that they can be able to stand up on their own. And I believe as a counselor, as a psychologist, that is our duty, to make sure that we have healthy communities and healthy people. And the guest that I'm having today, I'm so privileged to tell you a background of her story, which is very touching. And her name is Caroline Shagaya, and it's a story through sexual abuse by her own grandfather that was staying with her. Is also a journey of going through, a church lady goes through rape while in the church, and also gets married not by choice but by force, and in that marriage ends up being violated and assaulted and battling a lot of physical abuse. And that is just the underlying story that my guest has been through. So I want to welcome her to introduce herself. Caroline Shagaya, karibu sana.
Nashukuru.
Tumefurahi sana kuwa na wewe, Gorgeous Woman. And nikikuangalia hiyo story haikukai, kwa sababu inaonekana kuna vile Mungu amefanya ndani yako.
Yeah, Mungu amenifunika.
Amen. Yeah. So tuambie kidogo, wewe ni nani, umetoka wapi, umeokoka ama kukoaje?
Okay, kwa majina naitwa Caroline Chagaya. Nimezaliwa katika kaunti ya Vihiga, Mwanda sublocation, Maragoliland. Nimeokoka. Amen. Na nampenda Yesu Kristo.
Amen.
Yeah.
So nimeelewa umetoka Vihiga. Nasikia mnapenda kuku sana huko. Na ugali.
Kuku na ugali hiyo ni lazima.
Hajiwezi kubali hati kuku yako iende inaranda huko.
Chukua kitu kingine lakini kuku usichukue.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So na kanisa, umelelewa kanisa gani? Umezaliwa na ndugu wangapi? Na wewe ni mzaliwa wa katikati ama mwisho?
Wow. What I may say is I have a complicated family.
Yes.
Complicated family means I am the second born to my mother. I am the first born to my father.
Oh, I get you.
When it comes to church, neza sema mi ni mkosa kanisa. Like,
for now?
No, okay. Since I was born, I've been to several churches. I've been to ACK, I've been to Anglican. My mom is a typical Salvation Army.
Ah, okay.
My father, my parents and my grandparents, they're from Friends Church Quakers.
Ah, okay.
I've been to PAG.
Those are all good churches.
And right now I've been to Redeemed. And yeah, recently our pastor just started his own church. It's called Crossover Chapel. Yes. So I've understood you are a second born. So uko na siblings? Uko na wengine? Yes. Actually, I might say I have 3 fathers.
Okay.
And I have 1 mom.
Wow.
Sounds awkward.
Yeah.
So my mom had the first marriage, which she got a son. Then she left, she went back to my dad. She gave birth to me. From my dad, she got another marriage, which she gave birth to other 3 kids, but unfortunately the last born died. So in our family, we are 5, those who are alive. But I'm the only child from my dad.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you live together with your mom now, or you're still mkai pamoja?
For now, my mom is still married to my stepdad.
The third one?
Yes, the third one. As for me, I live alone. Okay, I live with my daughter right now.
Oh, you have a daughter?
Yes.
And your grandfather, is he still alive?
My real grandfather is dead.
Okay.
He
the
died.
one who used to sexually assault you?
No, the one who used to sexually assault me is still alive.
He's still alive?
Yes.
Wow, our viewer, I was doing a background just take so that we can understand where she's coming from. So we'll take a break, and after the break, you are going to hear the core of the story. So welcome back, our viewer. My guest Sarah has a very interesting story. Sad, but it ends well, because where God is, all things end up well. Remember, we've been nominated for the Praise Factor Awards International in Atlanta, Georgia, and we've been nominated. CTN Covenant Television Network has been nominated as the International TV of the Year, and the Gorgeous Woman Show, which is what is happening right now, has been nominated as the International Show of the Year. And I, the host, Reverend Ruth Omoyo, has also been nominated as the International Host of the Year, and we are finalists. So the finals are happening in September. We were supposed to travel there, and probably if we win, we are given the award. And the only way to vote for us is just go to our Covenant Television page, or you could go to Reverend Ruth Omoyo Facebook page, and just like the poster is pinned on top, and just share, because there's an online voting. So as you share the praise, it's called Praise Factor Awards. Praise means P-R-A-Y-Z-E, Factor Awards. And you can tag them on their page, and that way it will be counted as a vote. And we want to bring those 3 trophies home, because among many TV stations and shows in Uganda, South Africa, we have become the finalists, to the glory of God. So Sarah, nataka kuelewa, ulikuwa unaishi na guka kwa nini? Like your grandfather, babu, ulikuwa unaishi na yeye kwa nini?
Okay, I've stayed with 2 grandfathers. The dad to my mom, and the dad to my stepdad. Yes.
Okay.
So when my mom got out of her marriage, her second marriage, that's from my dad, she went back to the first marriage, which she gave birth to our third born. Then from there, she was in a violent relationship. So she decided to quit that relationship when things got out of hand. So she went back to her home, and we stayed with the grandfather. Life was good, and we lived a normal life. I started school, but unfortunately in 1997, my grandfather, the father to my mom, passed on. So the life changed drastically. My mom had to remarry, so she decided to get married to the third man. And life was good the first year, because I was the only one she went with. But immediately she got pregnant and gave birth, things had to change.
Are they all boys?
No, a boy and a girl.
Okay.
So things had to change, and I became a nanny to those kids.
Oh, wow.
And the stepdad was so violent. And I remember I was 5 years when my mom got married to him. But I can clearly remember the things that happened on that night, that we shifted from my grandfather's home to stepdad's home. So we continued to live together, doing all the work, and after school you could go utafute nyasi, gunia ya 100 kgs, go sell for 20 shillings.
Nyasi 100 kgs?
Yes, ile unafinyilia kabisa, gunia iko straight, ikisimama hivi iko straight.
Na utabeba aje?
Utabeba, cause nilikuwa nabeba hata mtungi ya 30 liters ya maji kenda kuchota mtoni.
At that time, how old are you?
I was 9 years. So unaenda unatafuta nyasi, unaenda unauza 20 shillings, unaenda unanunua mahindi gorogoro moja. By then it was 20. Unaenda unauza hiyo nyasi na unanunua mahindi gorogoro moja, unasiaga, uingie na unga kwa nyumba. If you don't do that, then there's no food for you. So
and it's only you or all your siblings?
No, it was me, because the younger siblings, okay, the 2 that my mom had from the first relationship, walikuwa wamebaki kwao.
Okay.
Because they were boys, and hawakubaliwi kwenda na mama, watoto wavulana. So I had to go with my mom because I was a girl. So life ikaendelea hivyo. You can go hungry for days.
And your mom was not working? Or?
My mom could just do odd jobs like kulimia watu kwa mashamba, kupalilia and all that. And this man alikuwa anafanya kazi ya kupasua mbao. And yeye ndiye alikuwa anapika food. Akiamka saa 11 apike ugali akule, apike chai akunywe, then ile ukoko ya sufuria ndio sasa hiyo mimi nitapewa na ile strong tea yenye haina sukari. So that will be my meal for the day.
And your mom was saying nothing about it?
My mom couldn't do anything.
Kwa sababu gani?
That I may not understand, but the way ilikuwa tulikuwa tumeambiwa alipikiwa squirrel. Hiyo ni ile ya kufunika mtu macho
Okay.
asione like what's going on. Unaona, like this man had the final say.
So nani alipikiwa squirrel?
Mom, on the first day she arrived in that boma.
And it's supposed to make you not realize what is happening?
Yes. Nili inafunika mtu macho.
Okay.
So life continued, life was so unbearable, and I remember at some point I could travel like over 5 kilometers to school. Nilikuanga natoka kwa nyumba 5 ndio nifike shule at least by 6:30. And saa hiyo maybe umekaa siku 3 uje kula, inabidi kulikuwa na mzungu mwingine alikuwa amepanda mahindi, naenda napita hapo nikichuna at least moja niende nichome shule because I can't just keep moving juu ya njaa. Unaona, ukitoka shule kazi zimekungojea, and ukipatikana umekunywa hata uji ya mtoto, utachapwa na ukae 3 days without food.
Now, did you ever growing up feeling like you were handled that way because your father was not with you?
At some point I asked my mom, why don't you take me back to my dad? Because I already knew my dad's name. Mom told me nisiisikie ukitaja mtu kaa huyo mbele yangu. So nikakuwa tu sasa siwezi sema anything. Because nikiulizia naambiwa nisiai taja jina kama hiyo. Since I didn't know what happened, I had just to keep quiet. So tukaendelea, unapata ikifika ni usiku, mnataka wazazi watapika sasa. Wewe unaambiwa chukua watoto muende mkae kwa shosho, tutawaita chakula ikishaiva. And katika hiyo that process ya kuendanga kwa shosho unapata grandfather alikuwa ana take that advantage, that step grandfather. Anataka ku have sex na mimi. And
at almost the age of 9 or 10?
Yes, I was from 9 to 13 years. So unapata anakuja, anakwambia niende kitu bedroom. Ukienda huko anakuja anafunga mlango.
Na shosho hayuko, your grandmother is not there?
My grandmother is in the kitchen preparing dinner.
Yeah, and of course kitchens za ushago
ziko mbali na the main house.
Yes, yeah.
So unapata anakufinyilia kwa ukuta, anang'ang'ana, but I know it was just God who always gave me strength. The only thing he could do, alikuwa anani paka hiyo uchafu. Okay, at that age nilikuwa naenda naonyesha mama, namwambia babu amenipaka makamasi kwa mapaja. And my mom could tell me, get out of here, enda panguza hiyo makamasi. So I didn't know ilikuwa ni spams, unaona. So nilikuwa naenda naambia mama, babu amenipaka makamasi. And mom could just tell me, toka hapo enda panguza hiyo makamasi.
Na hange react ama ulize
kitu? She never reacted. So it went to a point, even the daughter, the last born of the step grandfather, could use sticks to insert into my private parts. Na sahi umefungiwa kwa bedroom and no one can defend you. You are not allowed to say anything. She could go as far as anakuambia twende mahali, mkienda unapata amekuletea mwanaume hapo ndani, anataka ulale na yeye. So it's only God who always gave me strength to fight back, because I could just get an extra strength to fight back. It's better hata nikugonge, nikuume, but don't do anything to me. So it came at a point when this stepdad could beat me, anakuchapadi, ana make sure nguo zimeraruka. Only on a simple mistake, hujamaliza ile kazi alikuachia.
Ya 100 kgs of.
Lazima make sure nyasi grass, ya ng'ombe umeuza, ingine umeachia ng'ombe hapo, umechota maji, kila kitu imejaa, umetafuta mboga. Unaona, uogeshe watoto, umewafulia nguo zao. Failure to do so, then there's no food for you.
How did it affect your performance in school?
In school, actually, it never affected my performance. because I was naturally bright. Sikuwa nasoma. The little time ningepata ndio nilikuwa tu na study, and I was so much active in class. So ikafika mahali.
And you never confided with your teachers?
I never confided with my teacher. The only thing teachers could do ni ile ikifika masaa ya lunch, juu home ni mbali, sizienda hata lunch. Natoka, naenda kwa msitu, nakula mapera, alafu kifika saa 7:30 narudi class. So sometimes the teachers could just call me, wanitie food yao, and it's only one who knew that maybe siendi home cause ni mbali. So yeye ndiye alikuwa ananitia food, deputy. Na nakula. Kama si hivyo, kama nimejificha, unajua inafika tu point unasikia aibu. Inabidi niende tu kitchen, nisaidie mpishi kuosha vyombo, anipe ile chakula imebaki. And that's how life went until in class 7. So after kufika class 7, things got out of hand. The step grandfather was really up to me. I couldn't say anything. The daughter is here inserting sticks in my private parts.
It's the daughter?
Yes, the daughter to the step grandfather was inserting sticks in my private parts.
So she's actually your step auntie?
Yes. I never knew.
What was the motive?
I didn't know. And she was someone who is very much mature, already with a kid above 20 years. So I didn't understand why she was doing so.
So, and then when she does it, how would she force you?
Yes, she would force me. She would tell me to lie on the bed, then tie my legs and my hands.
And because you were young, there is nothing much you could
I couldn't do anything. Because even I go tell my mom, she will say I'm lying. If I could go, na hiyo uchafu ya makamasi nimuonyeshe, ndio hii. Na niambie enda panguza. Nusiai sema kitu kama hiyo. How could I even defend myself? Mwaso we were taught, usiai sema anything against mtu mzima. So I was just there defenseless. So until nikifika class 7, and I realized this is not the life I want for myself. And I remember the day I left that home, nilikuwa nimekaa 1 week bila food. And as always tulikuwa tumepangiwa kazi, nikakuwa niko na kazi mingi sana ya kufanya na sina nguvu. So tukatoka sasa tumeenda kutafuta kuni. Then I had 2 friends. Nikawaambia mimi nahisi njaa, si tuende tuombe miwa. Mahali tuenda kuomba miwa tukanyimwa. So we decided tumeomba tumenyimwa. The best thing we can do is just to steal at least one. So kwenda kuvunja hivi tukapatwa. Tukatoroka. So mimi nikasema, I'm not going back home, because if I go
and they know
nitauliwa kabisa. So then I decided to run away. I told my 2 friends, you know what, I'm not going back home. So akaniambia sawa, kuja tuende, hata si atuendi home juu tutachapwa. Hebu tuende kwa shosho. I was dirty with tattered clothes, nilikuwa nimekonda, malnourished. I didn't even care. Tukaenda hadi kwa shosho ya wasichana. Kwenda huko nikaelezea shosho story yangu na nikamuelezea hadi jina ya baba. Fortunately, she knew my dad. And she told me, you know what? If your dad is the person you have described, then I'll take you tomorrow. Kwa hivyo leo itabidi ulale. So tukalala, kafika asubuhi. Mtu akakuja. Akaambiwa, nataka upeleke msichana mahali fulani.
Wow, you will take a break, and then our viewers, that's just the foundation of the story. We are going to hear more from Sarah, and I want to challenge every mother. Carol, sorry. Carol, I'm sorry for Carol. That I want to challenge you that if you are a mother, step up for a girl child. And if they tell you anything about abuse, don't try to cover it up, because if you don't talk about it, then you close a door of communication. And of course, sexual abuse injures a child for life. So make sure that as a mother, step up and be that gorgeous woman God made you to be. See you after the break. So welcome back our viewer. My guest is Carol as we talk about her story. So Carol,
Yes.
you now kumekuja mtu in the morning amekupeleka kwa your father's place, or tell us more from there.
Venye huyu mzee alikuja akapewa directions mahali pa kunipeleka. So tukatoka, tukaenda, tukaona tumefika kwa boma and we saw a grandmother. Alikuwa ametoka. It was around 6 in the evening. Akaambiwa usitoke, nimekuletea mgeni. Akasema okay, sawa. Tukaingia kwa nyumba. Kuingia kaambiwa huyu ni so and so. There is that family name yenye walikuwa ananiita. So akaniangalia, akaniambia wewe ndio Ajando? That's a family name upande wa baba. Akamwambia ni mimi. Akaniangalia akasema karibu sana. The first thing my grandmother did was to pray. So she prayed for me. Nikaalikwa, nikakaribishwa vizuri. Then because it was late, akapika sapa, tukakula, tukalala. So the following day is when my dad came. Because my dad was staying somewhere for like 2 kilometers kutoka kwa shosho. So baba akakuja, nikakaribishwa vizuri, and it was on a Friday. Kakaribishwa vizuri, akaniambia mimi ndio babako, karibu nyumbani. And we started bonding.
That's nice.
So I felt relieved and I felt loved. Unaona, for the first time at least unaoga, unavaa nguo, at least unapewa hata panti mzuri ya kuvaa.
And you're allowed to be a child.
Yes, and I felt good. So on a weekend, and it was remaining 1 week tufungue shule. So on a weekend, my mom came kwa chief wa side za kwetu.
So alijua?
Yes. So akakuja akaripoti, akasema mtoto wangu ameibiwa. Tukakuwa summoned kwa chief. Kwenda kwa chief nikaulizwa, do you want to stay with your dad or go back with your mom? I mean, nikakumbuka ile life nimepitia huko from 5 years to 13 years, kana nauza bangi usiku, nauza hadi pombe, nafanya odd jobs. Saa hiyo nakuwa abused and no one cares about me. I decided I'm staying with my dad. So the stepdad said, if that's the case, I need to be compensated.
Oh my God.
For the years I've stayed with her. Akadanganya ati alinichukua nikiwa na 2 months. Na mimi nikamwambia, you took me when I was 5 years and I can remember vividly the day we came.
Now you're having to defend yourself because your mother can't talk on your behalf.
Yes.
Wow.
So my dad said, if that's the case, no problem. What do you want? Akasema anataka apewe ng'ombe na some cash. So the chief said, okay, next week, be ready to receive the cow and the little cash you requested for. So my people arranged for that and wakapeleka. And I stayed officially at my dad's place.
Kama kununuliwa.
Yes.
Wow.
So after kukaa, nikakaa na baba. Okay, I stayed with my grandmother because my dad was not married.
Yes.
So I couldn't stay with him because I'm a girl child.
He remained single after your mother left?
Yes. Wow. But he later came to marry. Yes, when I'm just with my grandmother. So we stayed, nikasoma.
And life was good there?
Life was good. Nikamaliza class 8. Nikapita, nikaitwa Moi Girls. And I was excited. At least
How many marks did you have?
Okay. I was the 3rd.
That's good.
Kwa the whole school, I'm the first girl.
The first girl?
Yes.
So because nasikia Moi Girls, I knew you've done well. Moi Girls, which one?
I was in Moi Girls, Eldoret.
Eldoret,
yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I was happy and I knew I was going to my dream school. So kufika January, February, barua imekuja, nangojea kwenda shule. People have congratulated me, I feel proud, but nothing came up for me. Sikuenda shule. There was no money, nobody bothered. And by that time, my dad had now married another wife. So my brothers wake ndio walikuwa wanafanya kazi huku Nairobi, but no one bothered to help. So nikakaa, ikafika to a point nikasikia, no, I need to go to school. Nikajipeleka a local school hapo. Actually niliomba hata uniform. Nikaenda shule nikajipeleka. Kufika huko nikaambiwa niende na my dad. ndio enda nibaie vitabu, na hawakubali new students kuingia na old uniform. So ilibidi anunue uniform shule. Life ikaendelea.
He agreed?
Yes.
Okay.
So life ikaendelea, nikasoma form 1 kufika form 2. I actually paid only 500 shillings while in form 1 out of the whole school fees. And my dad never paid any amount ever again. Nikifukuzwa shule school fees, nilikuwa naenda naambia mwalimu baba hayuko, ama I could even ask a parent outside to forge a letter nipeleke principal nimwambie imetoka kwa mzazi, aseme atakuja. So I just wanted to learn, to get educated, and unfortunately things never happened the way I wished for. Nikiwa form 2, the worst of it all happened. I got raped when in form 2, and I didn't know I was raped because the incident happened tukiwa na mazishi home. There was this police officer who came because our cousin alikuwa askari na alikuwa ameuliwa, so they brought him home. Na kawaida ya Waluya kuna kuanga na ile sherehe ya usiku. So katika hiyo harakati ya askari akakuja akatuuliza, tulikuwa tumekaa tu ma students wenye tunasema now the same class. Kauliza mnatumia kinywaji gani? Si kila mtu akasema. And unajua mtu akikwambia anakupea soda, like you respect that person so much. Unajua ushago kukunywa soda ni kitu kingine kubwa sana. So this guy akaenda akaleta soda na zilikuwa zimefunguliwa. Then from that I didn't know what happened to me until the following day nikakuja kujipata kwa nyumba ya my brother, niko in blood. Kuamka hivi najaribu kuamka, nasikia maumivu, nashindwa what happened. Kuangalia naona niko na damu. So nikashindwa kwani period imekuja, and it was my first time to see my monthly period, January, and this was February. It was only barely 2 weeks tangu nione. So I was like mbona imekuja mapema hivyo? So I never thought it to be a big deal, but that man aliachaka ameandika cannot, akasema thank you, na akaacha hapo namba ya simu na akaenda. So mi kwenda shule nikaenda nikauliza teacher, nimeona my menses like 2 weeks back, na nimeona tena nimeamka nikapata nimejichafua, but sasa nasikia maumivu, I feel dizzy, nasikia tu huku, I don't know, sijui kunaenda aje. Teacher akaniambia just wait tuone venye itakuwa, cause girls are different, maybe hormones zako ndio ziko hivyo. So I assumed, I never thought it's a big deal. So after kukaa mi naendelea kwenda shule, nasikia tu kulala, nasikia uchovu. Siku moja nikatapika, nikakumbuka mama alikuwa anatapika hivi analeta mtoto, na mimi sasa natoa wapi mtoto? Unaona?
Yeah, because you are not aware of what happened. Yeah, you were dragged. I
was dragged. Sasa mi nikaassume tu kwa nilitapika once na ikaisha hivyo.
And is it only you or your friends experience the same?
It was only me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was something that was arranged. Na huyo brother nilijipata kwake alikuwa amepewa pesa just to have, for that officer to have time with me. Because he later came to confess that he was paid in order to have a good moment with me. So tukakaka, I had my grandmother talking to my aunt. Kasema Karo is pregnant. Nilienda huko niliwaambia, how can you say I'm pregnant? Kwani nimekunywa mimba kwa chai? I don't know any man, I've never had sex. How can you tell me I'm pregnant? Kaniambia Karo, you are pregnant. Tunajua. Kambia I'm not pregnant. Nikakaa 2 weeks siwaongeleshe, I'm not doing anything. Because you know I was that church girl. Mi ndio nasavu wachungaji every Sunday, na make sure wachungaji wamekula. Church iko clean every Saturday. Mission mi ndio nawapeleka watoto missions. Unaona? So I was that, hadi nikapewa ile jina ya mama kanisa. So it came like, how can I be pregnant yet sijafanya sex? So nikapelekwa OC, ikakuwa confirmed I'm pregnant, and I was like, huh? That was the end of me. I got disowned. by my dad. He told me, you know what? You are no longer my child. Hata pastor kanisani, and she was a lady, kanita akaniambia, Karo, I was so proud of you.
Oh my God.
But this time round, you have disappointed me. Nobody even gave me a chance to explain what I had gone through. And it was so sad. To an extent, I thought ending my life was the best solution. So I called my brother and asked him, what really happened with the man that you were with? That's when he told me, he gave me money and requested to have time with you. That's why I decided to take the money and leave the house to him. And the only thing I told him, whatever you did to me, the one that will be done to you will be even worse than what has been done to me. Because I was so bitter.
I know.
My life was ruined. I've been disowned. I don't have anywhere to go. I can't go back to my mom because I ran away. And the hardship I was going through, I was not ready to go back there. So where do I start from? I couldn't go back to school. Though I continued with school until when the school closed. So I couldn't go back third term. I had to take care of my baby.
Oh my God.
I
So
gave
where
birth
did you give birth to this baby?
in my grandma's bedroom.
So she allowed you to stay?
So I just stayed. The only thing I could do is just to do odd jobs. But you can't go to school, no one cares. I didn't even, I only attended antenatal clinic only once.
And how was your grandmother? How was she treating you?
My grandmother, she was diabetic. So she also needed some care herself.
And did they know the whole story, what happened?
No one gave me a chance to explain. When they asked me who's responsible for your pregnancy, I couldn't say. And that's when they disowned me. So I stayed until the day of giving birth came.
In your grandmother's bedroom?
Yes. I didn't have anyone. I was alone. No one cared. My grandmother could not touch me because if she does, it's believed she will go blind. Because this was her great-grandchild.
Wow.
So she could just sit on the bed and just stare at me, but not touch me.
That is what the tradition, your tradition believes?
Yes.
That you can't
not
touch
unless I give her money to sanctify her. Then she will come and help me give birth.
Wow.
So I gave birth. I didn't have a napkin. I didn't have a towel. I didn't have anything. I was totally me and my God.
She couldn't even call a neighbor?
No.
So how did you take care of yourself?
Actually, taking care of myself.
Did she instruct you when the baby comes out?
No. She didn't say anything. I just, actually I didn't even know how I'm going to give birth. And I thought the only opening the baby could come out is through my mouth. That was the only big opening in my body. So I just roamed around in pains for 3 days. And finally I gave birth. I just went, nikashika kitanda, miguu ya kitanda, na nikainama hapo chini. After some few minutes, I just had the baby crying.
So the baby actually fell on the floor?
The baby fell on the floor. Kwa hiyo baridi tu. And I stayed there for 30 minutes. Mtoto ako huko, mimi niko huko. Hata placenta bado. Fortunately, the aunt came. Na yeye pia haezi hata kata kitovu. So akaanza kutafuta mtu, ndiye akakuja. Akakata kitovu. Mind you, I didn't have even a leso.
So even this baby is still there, not covered?
Not covered. Kwa hiyo baridi, chini kwa floor. Zile nyumba za ushago zimepumwa na samadi. Tell me, if it's not God, who is that?
Wow. Our viewer, what a sad story. Wow. Giving birth on your own. No knowledge, no support, no nothing. But thank God the baby survived. And we are going to come back after the break to hear the rest of the story. Welcome back, our viewer. My guest, Carol, her story of sexually assaulted by the grandfather, you know, even violated by the auntie. Now the brother is paid and she gets raped, and now she's pregnant and she has given birth. And Carol, let's go on with the story. So at last, a neighbor came and helped you now cut the umbilical cord. And so what happened after that?
So after kukata hiyo kitovu, since I didn't have a lasso, I didn't have a napkin, I didn't have anything. The only thing I could do is just to wrap the baby in my clothes. Kama ni skati na muingiza ndani na wrap vizuri, tunalala. Kama ni t-shirt na muingiza ndani na mfunika vizuri t-shirt mbili, tunalala. And life continued until after 3 months. Because you know, after kuzaa, sikuna kwa sijina scan kuna ile shindano mtu anadungwa, lazima take good care of herself. But me, I was just there.
Hata mtoto?
I was just there.
Hata mtoto hakuenda clinic?
Mtoto nao nilimpeleka clinic the first
na hiyo
week.
t-shirt?
Na hiyo t-shirt tu. Na nikaenda clinic. Na akapimwa akatoka 4.5 kgs the first week. And I thanked God. And I was so much in pains, like I could ask my God, why did this have to happen? And when I got disowned, actually I decided to abort this child, but it was never successful. Nilitapika, and I was like, at least mtoto ametoka. Hakuna mtu ataniuliza maswali.
Oh, because you knew anatokea kwa mdomo.
Yes. Na nilikuwa nimetapika besheni mbili. Sasa nikajua mtoto ametoka, hakuna stress. Little did I know that nothing happened.
The baby had to be born.
The baby was safe. Kwenda hosi naambiwa mtoto ako sawa, anaendelea vizuri. And I was like, God, forgive me. I didn't know what I was doing.
So did the father own up, now the guy who raped you, because he gave you his contact?
No. I actually tried to call, but the number didn't go through at first time. So nikasara hiyo story.
So at what point now did you get married? Because you were also in a violent marriage.
Wow. After 3 months, kujifungua, kukatokea na tenda ya barabara. I applied na nikachukuliwa. So tukalima barabara, ndio nikapewa the first money yenye nilipewa, nikafanya shopping ya manguo ya mtoto.
Wow.
Then after 6 months, my aunt, wife to my dad's brother, told me, Carol, there is someone in Nairobi who needs a house girl. Utaenda? Kamwambia sasa na niko na mtoto, nitaachia nani mtoto? Kaniambia that's not a problem. Umekubaliwa kwenda na mtoto.
Oh.
So I was glad. I said, thank God.
Yeah.
Simu hiyo mtu akatuma fare. Na nikaandikiwa namba yake kwa karatasi. Nikaambiwa upande gari, ukifika mahali panaitwa country bus, ushuke hapo na upige hiyo namba. Nikatoka home saa 10 asubuhi. Nobody knew where I was going except that auntie who had arranged for that. So I came to Nairobi, nilifika around saa 9. And nika call that number. Akaniambia kaa tu hapo nakuja. So the man came asking, are you Carol? Are you Carol? Kunifikia nikasema yes, I'm Carol. Kakuja, tukaenda hadi kwa nyumba. Actually it was a single room and I was surprised kushinda. Sasa kaka room kadogo. Hii ni wapi hapa?
It was a man who was to receive you?
Yes, it was a man.
Okay.
So the first day tukalala vizuri. The following day akaondoka akaenda. Though akanitumia mtu akaanza kuniambia kitungi inanuliwa hapa, mboga inanuliwa hapo. You know, hivyo tu. So I thought I'm just being assigned to how I'm going to work. Hey. The man came and now the reality had to hit me in a very cruel way. Because this man told me, now you're going to be my wife. I've never met this man. I don't know even his tribe because alikuwa anaongea language mimi sijai hata sikia. So I was like, how am I going to be your wife? Actually the first month tulikuwa tunasumbuana juu anataka sex. I cannot have sex with him because I barely know him. So sometimes
uko na mtoto wako pia,
yeah,
you know what sex brought you.
Exactly. So nilikuanga inafika to a point, ikifika usiku, umekaa tu hapo kwa kiti yako kwa bed, anakuja ananipea slap. Pia kama uko unataka kunipea sex ungeniambia. And you're like, God. It came to a point hadi nikamwambia, if this thing is going to make you hurt me, it's better I chop it off. Because I was fed up.
Yes.
Recurring moments that have happened to my life, now this, I'm just fed up. Because he never allowed me to go to church at that particular time. He never wanted me to interact with anyone. Because anasema nikiinteract na watu, nitapendwa. And maybe I might just run away.
And did you discuss the pay with your aunt when you were going?
I didn't have her phone number. I didn't have her phone. So I was literally all alone in Nairobi. I don't know anyone. It's only this man. So he stayed, things got violent. And at some point, I just decided the best thing is just to end it all and just commit suicide. I remember the first 1 year, it was full of pains. Halafu mtoto wangu, tangu azaliwe, hakuwahi gonjeka. Until venye alifika mwaka 1. Na ilikuwa nasumbuliwa na hii meno ya huko, but I didn't know. So nikamwambia, juu mtoto ni mgonjwa, si unipe pesa nimpeleke hosi. And he told me, call the dad, ampeleke mtoto wake hosi.
Na sahi, all this time, are you living now as a husband? Have you given in to him or you are still studying?
After 6 months, I decided to give in.
Wow.
Because I had no option.
Yeah.
So kuniambia nipigie the dad, si nilikuwa bado niko na ile namba. Nikamwambia sawa, nipe hiyo simu yako tumpigie. And I called. The number went through. Do you know, after communicating to this man, I couldn't even talk. So the man took upon himself, wakaanza kucommunicate kando. And this man came. Hadi hapo mahali tunaishi. Since I had seen him for the first time, I was not sure if he was the one. So, kaka anamwangalia. Na alikuja tu na hizo nguo zake za jeshi. Kaka anamwangalia. Venye alianza kuongea nikajua, oh, kumbe ni yeye. And since there is nothing I can do, I'm just there. I don't know what will happen to me next. I just decided to shut up. And the husband, the so-called husband, told me now, it's between me and him. Can you choose? Unataka kwenda wapi? So I was like, this man raped me. This one, hata kama ako violent, but at least amenishelter na mtoto. So I said, okay, I'm staying. So this man said, okay, if you're staying, mimi na tunaenda tufanye DNA, alafu mi nichukue mtoto wangu na niende. So actually, the day he was supposed to go have DNA, it was on a Tuesday, but he never showed up. That's when he went and never came back. Na simu sijui alipotezanga ama alitupa ama aliblock, I don't know. It never goes through that number.
Wow. Is your child a boy or a girl?
My child is a girl.
Wow.
A very beautiful girl.
How old is she now?
She's 10, turning 11.
Wow.
And she's in class 4.
Yeah.
And I thank God.
Does she know about this story?
The only thing she knows is that I got her when I was in school. I carried her for 9 months. And since I gave birth to her when in school, I wasn't able to go back to school.
Okay.
And when you ask her about the dad, she says our dad is God.
Wow.
And she told me, okay, she experienced the relationship I had with the former husband.
You are no longer together now.
We are no longer together.
Wow.
So she always tells me, Mom, there's no need of getting a dad, because I don't want to experience what we experienced with so and so. And if you want to get a dad, make sure that dad will love me first before he loves you.
And what happened? How is your relationship with your mother now?
My relationship with my mother. Okay, when things got tough, when the man decided to leave, because it came to a point when I told God, if this relationship you are meant for it to work, then change this man. And if it's not, either I get out or him to leave. So the man decided to go, though it was a violent way, because aliacha amenipasua hadi kichwa and ilibidi ninyoe nishonwe, unaona. So he decided to go and nikaamua kuhama mali nilikuwa, niende mali hakuna mtu atajua mi ni nani, nafanya nini, nimetoka wapi. So it's been 4 years since I started staying alone, and the first 1 year things were so tough. Unapata hauna job, hauna nini. It came to a point the only job I could land ni kuosha mashits kwa lodging, and being a church girl they could tell me you don't belong here, and mind you pale kuna challenges mob sana, unaona. So I decided even to quit, and I remember I stayed out of church for 1 year because of the work I was doing, kufua mashits kwa lodging. Wanaona mtu yeyote mwenye anaingia pale is a prostitute or is there after money. So I was to stay out of church, but still I didn't do away with church completely. Nilikuwa natoka saa 11 niende church, nifagie, nipange viti, nipike chai. Pasi alikuwa anapenda chapo zenye nilikuwa napika sana. Naenda naeka kwa ofisi na ninatoka. Because akinipata pale, ataniuliza what are you doing here? So I could just go in church when nobody's around.
So they were okay with your services, but they were not okay with you.
Okay, sasa that's what I was doing. Nilianza kuserve wachungaji nikiwa mdogo. So even kukuja huku Nairobi na nikapata ule mchungaji alini-embrace na kuniweka on the right counsel, I also did the same. And nilikuwa najua, unajua wachungaji wakiwa kwa madhabahu, they use a lot of energy. Yeah. And ukitoka pale unafeel umechoka and all that, at least you need to calm yourself down. So nilikuwa na make sure mchungaji akitoka kwa madhabahu akienda kwa ofisi, at least kuna chai, kuna food akule. And that's okay, I believe that's how I always stack my blessings. Wow. Unaona? So after kwenda nilikuwa naona, no. Naenda napika chai, napika chakula ile anapenda, naika kwa ofisi na ninatoka. So they could just come, they eat, they enjoy, na hawakuwa wanajua inatoka wapi.
Oh, but right now God has settled you.
Right now God has settled me. I thank God. Though the journey has been painful, but I knew God had a purpose for my life. And I remember when I was growing up, okay, when I have visions, I always don't dream. I always have visions. Like, sa zile umeka umerelax, unaona visions. And there was a point, God could show me little kids, like street kids, they could cry out for my help, come and save me, you see? And I could find myself crying to God and telling God, yes, I will go, yes, I will go. Yeah. And I promised God, like, I'm going to serve little kids. I'm going to work, like, save those kids that are in the street, save those people that are being abused, those that cannot even raise their voices.
Yeah, and because of time, I have to cut you short. So how are you doing that right now?
Right now, I think I'm on that line because I work with an organization, Come Together With Us and Orphans organization, founded by Diana Kamande.
Ah, she's great. I know Diana. She's my friend.
Yes. So we do work hand in hand. We also do help widows and widowers, orphans, and we are going to achieve a lot.
Amen. Thank you so much, Carol, for your story. I'm sorry we're out of time. Would have had more and more, but we'll get to have you maybe on another time when you have anything new. And it's always a joy to have you in the Gorgeous Woman Show. Thank you for sharing this time with us. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go follow our page, Reverend Ruth Wamoyo Covenant Television Network page, and that is where you'll get stories like this. And remember, don't forget to vote for the nomination Praise Factor Awards. From me and CTN family and the production, wonderful team, God bless you and have a good night.